What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Godzilla x Kong Supernova, aka Godzilla x Kong 3. So in today's video, we're gonna go over a plot potential leak about where the final battle is taking place. I'm not really sure I believe that, only because they didn't really shoot much there, but I guess in post-production, they could do a lot of VFX, CGI stuff there. But predominantly in today's video, this is the most requested video I've had to do with Kaiju MonsterVerse is I'm going to talk about absolutely every Titan that's going to appear in Godzilla x Kong Supernova and the potential Titan that could actually be the overall villain. So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? Warstu here. If you're new around here, what the freaking hell are you doing? Make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, MonsterVerse, pop culture-based content I try to deliver on a daily basis. You could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know how freaking excited are you. Even though this movie's not coming out to 2027, I'm hoping we get another tease early next year, if not at the end of this year. Why? Well, because the day they started shooting, we got a tease, didn't we? So maybe we could get a much bigger tease. They have so much time in post-production, although technically, yes, they are shooting in London, but that's not reshoots. That was always planned. Also, check us out on Twitter, WarstuG, and follow us on TikTok. We are so close to 1,000 TikTok followers. I feel lame even saying that. Woe be you, Warstu, over there, because someone stole my handle. So, which Titans are going to be in this movie? Obviously, Godzilla is going to be the main star. If we go back to what the original director was saying before we got a new director, there's nothing wrong with that. It was going to be more of a Godzilla-centric movie rather than Godzilla x Kong the New Empire. That was more of a Kong story, and Godzilla felt like a side character. Godzilla's finally going to get his time to shine, allegedly, in this movie, and Kong is going to be the subsequential side character. So, we know at some point there's going to be some greater threat coming from outer space, and Mothra is going to be the one. Mothra is going to be the one to warn us about whatever is coming. Allegedly, maybe, potentially. But we know at some point Godzilla and Kong will get into a fight again, and Mothra seems to be the only creature who can calm them down. So we know that will take place. Also, we know allegedly the scroll crawlers will reappear like they always appear in these kind of movies. Sure. So obviously Mothra, the queen of the monsters, she's a key figure in the previous movie, helping to somewhat calm them down. So also Shimo, who was kind of the villain of the last movie, but not really overall. Apparently Shimo is going to reappear in this movie, but will be subdued quite easily by some cybernetic technology. That is why some people seem to think that Dan Stevens' Trapper character will be some variation of some Jet Jaguar kind of transformer, but I don't actually think that will be the case. So, people were kind of frustrated in the last movie. Why? Because Doug didn't appear. Now, there are rumors and theories out there that Doug will kind of be Godzilla Jr., because some people seem to think that Godzilla is going to die in this movie. Now, there is a massive clause in the contract. Godzilla can't die. Well, he can, but he's not allowed to die for very long. Although I don't believe they're going to replace Godzilla with a baby Godzilla, because we know we are building up to destroy all monsters. Now, Tiamat is supposed to appear in this movie. Potentially, we don't actually know if that is going to be true. But these potential ones here are not 100% in the movie. I'm going over who could potentially be in the movie. So, Behemoth, the mighty Behemoth, could actually return, potentially. But I've been saying that since the last movie. So, Rodan is a hot favorite to be in Godzilla x Kong Supernova, because Rodan was not in the New Empire at all. But he could appear in this movie. There's lots of fan theories out there, and a lot of people seem to think Rodan will appear because Rodan is still alive, but he is dormant, you know? So he's not dead, but he's not technically alive. He's just dormant. And certain shooting locations, fan theories suggest they were shooting close to where Rodan was last seen. Potentially, that means Rodan could appear. I'm not saying it's likely to happen, but Rodan could appear. Now, this next one is potentially freaking wild. Queen Muti technically appear. Hell, Warstu, why don't you just say everyone could appear? Well, no, that's not what I'm doing here, but I've requested video. So technically, this Colossus Titan could appear. Why not just a normal Mewtwo? Well, I think it makes sense if a Queen Mewtwo. Because do you know where we have in the first teaser trailer, there is mass awakenings of Titans. So we can't just get the standard Godzilla, Kong, Mothra, Doug. There's got to be an awful lot of Titans in this movie because we know the runtime is going to be close to 2 hours. But the mass awakening sequence makes me think there's going to be a freaking hell of a lot of Titans appearing into the movie. Now, I don't think we're going to get any crazy Titans. Potentially we could, but we're going to go on soon. So, Suku, the young ape who befriended Kong in the New Empire, is expected to return, and Suku could very well be the heir to Kong's throne. Potentially. That is a potential move they could do. So, the potential, who is the overall villain? Now, Toho, I mean, people dispute this when I say this, but Toho are so strict with the rules to use Space Godzilla. Apparently, it will be so hard to use Space Godzilla that they're just going to make up their own Mega Titan that is very close to being like Space Godzilla, but won't actually be Space Godzilla. There is a threat coming from the moon, coming from space. But who is it going to be? So Gigan, or Gorgan, as I say to troll you people, a fan favorite Titan, has rumored to be appearing for such a long time, but it's never seen the face of the day. So a classic Toho Kaiju Titan, such as Jet Jaguar, could appear. I'm not saying they will, but, you know, there's cybernetic technology allegedly used in this movie, so potentially they could be going. A lot of people said Space Godzilla for the last movie, including your boy Warstu, including me. But Gigan would make a lot of sense. An alien cybernetic cyborg could be the villain. Would bring a unique kind of vision to the MonsterVerse, unique design, unique skill set. It's potentially what creature, what Titan would actually give Kong and Godzilla a fight. Because although we want to say, yo, it's just going to be a Godzilla kind of villain, it's not. It will just be a replay of Godzilla versus Kong, where there's going to be some kind of Titan. Kong or Godzilla is going to need help, and that is pretty much how we're going to get to it. Now, I think original villain would be the case. A new original antagonist for the movie, almost like what they did in the last movie with Shimo. Although some people dispute that Shimo actually is a real Titan and was technically always there. I'm not really sure if that's the case, but I guess information's out there that would suggest that. So also I'm going over rumors as well. This is an absolutely wild one. A Soul Wrath, a rumored possible Titan, is an energy-based supernova Titan named Soul Wrath, which is born from a dying star. You know, it's all going to come back to the dying star theory. Yes, I know that. And I've always stated that my MonsterVerse Kaiju Titan knowledge, it's not the greatest, but it doesn't have to be to kind of do this kind of content. I get a lot of spout. It's like you don't need to know everything about Marvel, DC, and anime to actually cover stuff. Just someone that has a voice. So a Soul Wrath Titan born from a dying star would be pretty sick. And also, if you remember a while back, Griffin was allegedly leaked on set because they were filming close to the origins of what actually happened with the movie and the villain being from out of space. So ability for the Griffin arrived on Earth via a meteorite, use smaller probats to absorb the genetic material of other animals. It could be used, the DNA, to shapeshift, to grow stronger. And there is a design out there. It was originally supposed to be in the abandoned 1994 film from Godzilla vs. Griffin. There is so many Titans that could appear in this movie, and that is why I can't wait till we get the first actual trailer, because then we can base theories on actual factual information, apart from actually guessing like what is good, who's going to be in this movie, although I think it's really cool doing that. This is why I hate the movies coming out in 2027. I wish it was coming out in 2026. But to be fair, lads and ladettes, the next 2 years of movies with a very like packed out next year and the following years. So I think this movie may struggle either way. So also in the news, so I was sent some information saying that allegedly the final finale of this battle of the movie, the third act, always takes place in a huge city. Now, someone told me it's going to be London. And I know London does have some pretty big buildings, some pretty big skyscrapers. It's not on the same level as any other kind of city that's been destroyed. We know this movie will end with the Titans nearly being destroyed and then them overcoming and saving the day and coming back together. And then humanity realizing that, yo, we need to work with the Titans and not against the Titans. We know the government's going to try and take out the Titans and, you know, try and sabotage Hollow Earth. But we know ultimately there's going to be some massive location. London would be cool, but in order to get the tax breaks for filming in London, you've got to spend a substantial amount of money in said London and have a good majority of time in London. Now, I don't know how long they actually filmed there. It looked like they filmed there for less than a week. So would that qualify for tax credits? I don't know, but I do like it how the MonsterVerse, how Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, and Godzilla versus Kong, the budgets were not bloated. And the CGI looked pretty good in the last Godzilla New Empire movie. So regardless of where they actually end up, I think that would be pretty cool. London obviously would be cool because that is where Warstu is from, the UK. That would be a cool final location. So that is all the Titans that I know will be in the movie and that potentially could be in the movie. And we've got to have absolutely everyone who could be said villain. Personally, I want the villain to be Space Godzilla because I've been freaking yapping about Space Godzilla appearing for years. But ultimately, Griffin would be cool. A Soul Wrath or Soul Wraither would be cool. Any Titan would be cool. Gargant would be cool. Destroyer, no, it's too soon. But it's going to be freaking awesome, regardless of who is the overall villain. But Space Godzilla is what a lot of people seem to think is where the movie's going. Because obviously Space Godzilla, a powerful crystallized clone of Godzilla and legendary foe in the franchise. But Toho apparently being too restricted with what the MonsterVerse version of Space Godzilla would do. So who knows, lads? Like I say, I'm trying to keep these MonsterVerse videos going, but it's so hard because information, news about the MonsterVerse, it's far and few between. So we're having to kind of do theory-based videos, then chuck a bit of news in when it comes. So hopefully you're not too annoyed that this is more of a theory video rather than factual information. But like always, lads, I will catch ya in another video very soon. Catch ya later. Okay, well, so you can stop now. Bye.